to an extent where even land is now being dished out by those who have come from outside. And our people have continued to live in perpetual poverty because those who should speak for them have decided to look the other way. That is a mockery of governance. And I don't want to be part of that kind of governance. For me, I joined innocently believing that the PF was going to be used as a platform to herald a new beginning for the downtrodden, to herald a new beginning for the poor. That, I'm sorry to say, is no longer the case. The poor are struggling, while those that are rich are now taking a glass of wine to attract appetite before every meal. That is not why the PF was formed. That is not the reason why I accepted the position of foreign minister. I accepted it because I thought using my position would bridge the divide. Have you ever thought and sat down, Caleb? Have you ever thought, even for once, why is it that when you look at the number of shops and buildings even in town, most of them are being occupied by foreigners or outsiders? And our people have been relegated to selling on the streets. Which streets now we are even pushing them out from being in there. In this country, it's either you are selling on the streets or you are quarantined in the compound. And I'm saying there must be a new departure. There must be a new beginning for this country. This country can't go on like this. It just can't afford to miss this generational opportunity it has of doing it right. We can't continue and allow things to go on the way they're going. Somebody has to call this country to order. And I am here saying enough is enough. We have to change the way this country is moving. Otherwise, to proceed on this path is not only suicidal, but it is putting a close on this country's prosperity. A country who our forefathers have fought so much for. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda and his colleagues, Ruben Kamanga, Mnakayumbwa Sipalo, and all those came together to create a Zambia that you and I will call home. A Zambia where tribal division was not going to be tolerated. Today, this country is polarized, heavily divided between them and us. This country is no longer the country that Dr. Kaunda would have dreamt of. This country is no longer the country that my own father, Simon Kalaba, dreamt of. I'm not sure Nalubino Mundia would be happy to see us be divided as we are. Mainza Chona would also not be happy to see us be where we are today. What has happened to a Zambia that we all dreamed of, to a Zambia that we all thought was going to herald prosperity? Whether you are rich or poor, it was a Zambia that was going to give you space. That is no longer the case. And we are saying we cannot continue on this trajectory. It's harmful. It's not healthy. We are a country that is bleeding. We need to heal as a people. We can't go on where those that have got power, the politicians, because I am failing to call the current politicians leaders. We used to have leaders in the past. Now we have politicians because their interests are supreme and the people's interests are always subservient to their interests. That cannot continue. That can't be allowed to go on, Caleb. We have to go back to the drawing board and make this country good for all of us. Because it can only be good for me if it's also good for you. If it's not good for you, then there's a problem. This is the country I dream of myself. This is the Zambia I've always looked at. A Zambia where all of us, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are from Southern Province or from Northern Province or indeed Eastern Province, it will give you an opportunity. Whether it's a child in Shangombo, whether it's a child in the lower Lupande in Mufue, they'll all be given an opportunity to have a go at the opportunity. For as long as they are good, the system should find them.
All right. I was going to suggest something to you. That can I sit for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, and you shall just be talking and talking and talking on your own without me asking you a question? Because you sound like you're able to go on without even me posing any questions.
Of course I can go on and on if you give me an opportunity.
But let me pose a question.
Please do.
Honorable, you've just mentioned that somebody need to call this country to order.
Yeah.
somebody might just do something right. We should do the right thing.
Yes.
And you put it here that you are the right person to do that. In what capacity?
Not necessarily me, because this is not even about me, Kalen.
Those were your words. Your words were like,
I'm saying I am available.
Exactly. No, that's availability.
Yes.
In what context?
I'm available to rally around people that are thinking in the same direction. That this country can be good for all of us. I'm available for that challenge. And I'm going to be one of those that will ensure that this country goes back to where our founding fathers wanted it to be.
What about you are at a parliamentary level?
Of course.
And you are able to provide that service. Are you looking for something bigger than that?
There's nothing wrong with looking for something bigger than that. There's nothing wrong. Somebody the other day was telling me, but Honorable Kalaba, you just seem to be so ambitious. I said, look, show me any country in the world, just any country in the world that has developed economically without a person that was ambitious. Show me any country in the world that developed without anybody that was ambitious. Don't be lied to. It is ambition which drives the process. Even you here where I am in this studio, you are just showing me around and you are telling me how you're building a new studio. It's because you are ambitious. You want to do it right. There's nothing wrong with that. You cannot criminalize ambition. I'm not ambitious, but yes, ambitious I am. That is why I was Deputy Minister and also Vice President. I was Member of Parliament at the beginning. I was Lands Minister. I was Foreign Minister. And I said, I'm ambitious to see the Zambian people have a prosperous
ambitious
life.
To become president.
Even that is not a problem because I'm a Zambian citizen.
All right, let's put it right here.
Zambian people,
But let's put it right here.
If the Zambian people
are you aspiring to become president?
There's nothing wrong with that aspiration. If the Zambian people say you can be president, why not? Just why not?
Do you have those ambitions in you to become president?
I'm saying if the Zambian people gave you the opportunity, Kalen, why not? Just why not?
The Zambian people may be willing, but they cannot be willing to give you that opportunity if you've not publicly asked for it. Now I'm asking this question.
If the Zambian people tell me, Harry Kalaba, we think you can be the president, who am I to deny the Zambian people?
If those are the Zambian, I'm equally Zambian.
So tell me something. Tell me, are you telling me that I should be
I want you to become president.
I'm available.
All right.
Yeah.
That's Rita answering to say you are ready for the presidency.
Why not? Why not? I'm available. I'm here.
All right. Some of the issues that you're being accused of is that in 2015, because you heavily campaigned for President Edgar Lungu, you wanted the position of vice president. Is that the ambitions that you had in the past?
Nah, because the Constitution of Zambia clearly stipulates that when a running mate is chosen, that's the person who will become the vice president in the case of a political party winning. And I very well knew who was going to be the vice president.
That was in 2015?
2015. No, by 2015, first of all, 2015, I never even aspired to become vice president. I was busy. I was in the thick of things at that time. And I didn't even have time to entertain such kind of thoughts. But if I did, I would tell you, yes, I did. And there would have been no problem with it because vice president is just one of the positions in cabinet. And so there's nothing wrong with it.
Now, let's talk of the issues that you are bringing out, corruption, among other issues in government. When you were there, you were not happy with. Did you try to sit with your colleagues in cabinet to advise, to say, Vane, let's do the right thing?
When your presence, Colin, here in Prime TV is not being appreciated, your absence will be appreciated. When your presence is not being appreciated, your absence will be appreciated. It is not for me to sit on this floor and begin mentioning this and that. There we sat and there we sat. I think for me, we have passed that stage. What you should know, my brother, is that I have resigned and I've given the reasons for my resignation. And it ends there. Right. It ends there.
But for the Zambian people, it does not end there. That for you, it ends there.
For the resignation, it ends there.
It ends there, yes. Yeah. But for us, we want to know, really, if you're telling us the truth, that, well, because even them, they're watching, they're listening to you. They would want to know whether what you are saying is correct or not.
In my resignation, when I posted on the Facebook because I've always made this thing very clear. When I posted on the Facebook page, I did explain that for some people, they'll obviously believe that Kalaba is playing politics as that's why he has resigned. While others will say, yes, he has resigned genuinely. Each one of them, or people have got their own entitlement to their own opinions. I give it to them. What I'm telling you is the exact position of how things happen. Because I am the only Harry Kalaba from the last time I checked in this country. Unless there's another one who was foreign minister. But from what I know, I was the only one. And I'm telling you, I resigned. Because, Colin, you are seated here. Have you ever thought about the biggest scandals I've always said in this country has been the negligence that we have put on the youths of this country? The youths are to be used only when there are by-elections. They're to be used when we want to bring somebody down. The youths are to be used when there will be an election that other week, and so we want to block that one from entering that place, so you guys should go and do that. We cannot reduce our youths in that fashion. We can't. This country's population is about 70% of this population is youthful. How can we allow our own youths, who happen to be the future of this country, to be relegated to that position? Because we are not taking seriously so an effort in addressing the plight of our youths. This is one of the countries that has what we call the Youth Empowerment Fund. How many of our youths even know what accessing that fund is all about? How many of our youths have even been approached to look at how best they can access that fund? What I think we should do, going in the future, is to ensure that we begin holding symposiums where we'll be inviting youths to give us ideas on how they can even advance themselves. Normally, people that are having a challenge even know how to sort out their own challenges. The youths have got answers to their problems. We need to hear them. We need to give them an opportunity so that they can tell us how we can drive the process. But that can't happen for as long as this country continues to ship jobs outside of our country. That will not happen for as long as preference, even in terms of empowerment of contracts and whatever I want to call it, is being given to outside at the expense of our own citizens. Our youths have remained strangers. They have remained struggling in an economy where they should have made it. Because this country is so blessed, is so endowed with so much, that there can be enough for almost everybody if there was prudence in the way we do things. And that is why, for me, the way forward is critical in how we manage this country. That is why, for me, Colin, it is important that we begin paying attention to the loopholes that I can even see from where I'm seated. That's why it's... I mean, let me give you an example of in the mining industry.